All right. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here, Stephen? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for just sharing a little bit of your time with me. That means so much to me. Or if anybody's going to spend any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I usually try to do. Most of the time, it goes a lot longer than that. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. Throw it in the chat box. Sometimes it's just nice to talk to somebody sometimes instead of me just rambling on and on and on and on. So I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if I see something in there, as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away, throw away in the chat box, right? Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. There's a top link in the description box below. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Now, what each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the helmet is and the design and all that's associated with your name, that means the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, okay, associated with your name, that means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's also 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji coming out, but right now there's 4. Okay, I had them made up on on Fiverr. These things freaking crack me up every time I look at them. Eventually there'll be 4. Eventually it'll be 5, but right now there's only 4 emojis. But you can use them in the chat box or if you're making a comment or something like that. So anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. If you're not, go down below, okay? Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? Right now, I'm at 6,622 subscribers. What the hell did I start the day with that here? 6586, 14. I've gone up 36 subscribers so far today. I tell you what, I thought it would start dying down. I've really been very lucky. Because I thought after the season over with, I thought the amount of subscribers I'd be getting every day would just start maybe trickling down a little bit, But I'm still getting 30. As I said, I got 36 so far today. There's still like another 4.5 hours left to go in YouTube, the YouTube day. So I'm probably going to get at least another 40 subscribers today. It was the beginning of February. I got 5,000. I got up to the 5,000 mark. I never thought my wildest dreams I ever would have got 5,000 subscribers on this channel. But right now it's over 6,600 and still going strong. I'm probably on my way to getting another 40 subscribers today. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I said, if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon, right? It's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? And then finally, okay, also in the description box below, all right, there is 2 links, okay? Take you to my Facebook group. Well, one's a Facebook group, one's a Facebook page. The top link takes you to my Facebook group, okay? It's called New York Giants, the Gridiron. Right now, we have over 2,500 members in the group, okay? With the group and the page, which I'm going to go over in a minute, I put at least 10 items in there every day in both of them, okay? I spend at least an hour every day, 7 days a week. So there's a ton of stuff going into the group every day. And the nice thing is with the group, not only do I put stuff in there, but the members share stuff as well in there. So every day there's a ton of stuff going into the group, as it's not only from me, but it's also, from the members as well. Okay. Then also, if the second Facebook link, all right, takes you to my Facebook page. Everything's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, okay? My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can remember everything. I don't have to start thinking of, what's the group called, what's the page called, what's the difference between the channel, it's all called the same thing. So I make it easy for an idiot like me, all right? Right now, we have 710 people who like it. We have over 3,300 people following the page. Now, so I'm the administrator in the page. I'm on the page. I'm the only one who puts anything in. Okay. But as I said, it's 7 days a week. I'm always putting stuff in there, usually at least 10 different items every day, whether it's a video, like a photo, like what do we got here? Okay, there's a Matt Breida. I put a video in last night. I'm going to be putting more stuff in tonight when I get off the channel here. There was Matt Breida scored the touchdown against the Lions in Week 11. Got the Giants semi back into the game. At the time, they just 24-12. They missed the extra point. The wind was terrible that day. So Graham Gano's his extra points were Ganud that day because of the wind. But Matt Breida, crashed in from about 3 yards out. It looks like to make it a little respectable at 24-12 in the fourth quarter. Anthony Richardson has a little video here of him throwing like a 60-yard, just flicking his freaking wrist, 60 freaking yards down the field at the combine, just hitting the dude in stride. What a freaking beast Anthony Richardson is. Holy crap. Then there's another picture here of the 1990 championship game. Leonard Marshall freaking waffling. Joe Montana. Something from Art Stapleton in here, talking about Daniel Jones. There's another picture of Lawrence Taylor, Dick Butkus, and Jack Lambert. There's all kinds of stuff going in there. So, and basically I don't commingle them. So whatever I put on the page or in the page, I don't put in the group and vice versa. So whatever, 10, 12, 13, whatever things I put in the page every day is usually, for the most part, it's different than what goes in the group. So please go to the page, like it and follow it, and go to the group and become a member. And between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day, okay? And I always say, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back, guaranteed, all right? Well, all that stuff said, done, out of the way with. I'll tell you, there was a couple of articles I saw, okay, that looked like they were really seemed to close the gap quite a bit. And so we still got till 4:00 tomorrow afternoon. So the clock is ticking. We got a little over 15 hours left to go. Okay. But, things get done. Things have happened before in the last minute or so, or whatever, or the last day. So I did see a couple things that talking about the Giants, the gap is getting closer and closer. One of the things, or maybe should I say two of the things that maybe helped close the gap a little bit, okay, was which I obviously I don't wish nothing bad on nobody or nothing this or that. If the guy's going to get paid, let him, get paid and all that and everything, But when Geno Smith, okay, signs a 3-year deal for $105 million, okay, he has a possibility of making $52 million in the first year. Now, I guess that could possibly be with the signing bonus and all and everything. I'm not exactly sure, but I didn't look at the contract. But so you got 33, 34. So you got $35 million a year. Geno Smith, the comeback player of the year. Okay. $35 million a year. All right. So they got Daniel Jones. Okay. Looking for 45, 48 million or something like that. All right. So they signed Geno Smith. So the Seahawks got him for like another 3. Maybe it's a 3-year contract. Maybe they can get out after 2 years. Who knows? But it looks like they have Geno Smith there for another 3 years, which works out, I think, really, really well for everybody. They still got their weapons. Okay. Part of it, of course, okay, is, Geno Smith, has needs some weapons. Okay. He had some Lockett, right? And Metcalf there. So he's got some weapons there. He led the league in completion percentage, 69.8. That's okay. Threw for 4,282 yards. He threw for 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Okay, 30. He threw twice as many touchdown passes as Daniel Jones did. Okay, and he got $35 million a year. Daniel Jones threw for 15 touchdown passes, and I keep hearing all this stuff. Now, whether it's true or not, who knows? But when the Raiders placed the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs, which might be the same thing the Giants might wind up doing with Saquon if Daniel Jones can get signed. Okay, but I'm saying, but the Geno had a really nice year. I mean, this is also, but I mean, this is like by far the best year he's had. Okay, he's had nothing even close to this. His first year, he threw for over 3,000 yards. Okay, and then ever since then, in his second season with the Jets, his record was 3-10, threw for 2,500 yards. But his first year, I mean, so it's like by far and away his best year that he had last year. Okay, no, I don't. It also has something to do with and you look at Russell Wilson. Look at the success he had in Seattle. Okay, he goes to Denver and he stinks up the joint. I mean, Geno Smith, has not had very good years. Okay, now this is his first full year here starting there. Right, he wound up being 9-8, 69.8% completion percentage, 4,282 yards and 30 touchdowns. All right, so by far his best season, but he only got $35 million a year. Okay, so his best, it was in 2013, his rookie year with the Jets. He wound up going 8-8, 55.8% completion. He threw for a little over 3,000 yards. He had 12 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. I mean, whew. So I mean, last year was by far, right? So I mean, if he's in the same system, if he got Lockett there and Metcalf and all, he should have a decent year. I don't know if he'll be able to complete 70% of his passes again. Another 30 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, that would be difficult to do. But he got paid. Good for him. So I'm saying, so he's 32. So I mean, he'll be 33, 34, 35. So the next 3 years he's taken care of, right? Till he's up to 35. Now, if he's able to keep performing at a relatively high rate, maybe he gets another contract. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, as good of a year as he had, he only got $35 million. Okay. Then we go to Derek Carr. Okay. He signed with the Saints. First 9 years, I believe it was, right? In 9 years, it's with him with the Raiders. It's going to be tough, but it's the nature of the beast. It's going to be tough seeing him with the Saints symbol on the side of his helmet. But it's the way the NFL is. It says Derek Carr has found a new home, and there's plenty we can learn from the deal he landed. It was tough. Couldn't trade him. He was due $75 million over the next 2 years in Vegas. He'll get $60 million over the next 2 in New Orleans. Okay. Let's see. He was due $116 million over the next 3 years in Vegas. He'll get $100 million over the next 3 years in New Orleans. Okay. Now, let's see here. On his Raiders deal, he would have made more than, let's see. But in Vegas could have released him thereafter at a penalty of $7.5 million. Okay. On this deal, his $60 million for the next 2 years is fully guaranteed. So he has fully guaranteed money, but it's only, he's only getting $60 million. Okay. No, only, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see, 30 million. Okay, he's going to get $50 million in the final year, which is cosmetic. The reality is it's a 3-year deal for $100 million with a balloon payment. He's highly unlikely to see that. Makes it look like he got a lot closer to $40 million, but he didn't. Okay, let's see. So, I mean, basically he's getting like 33. I mean, well, let's see. Well, it's a 3-year deal for $100 million, basically. So basically he's averaging, I mean, the last one, which apparently he's not going to, I don't know, according to this article here. All right. Let's see. He's apparently he's not going to see maybe the 4th year, or they might have to, I don't know, redo the contract or whatever. It's, you know, it's a $50 million final year is cosmetic. The reality is a 3-year deal for $100 million. So, I mean, even Derek Carr, right, he's only getting $33 million a year, basically, right? Geno Smith got 35, Derek Carr got 33, all right? So you kind of wondering, you know, you're hearing all these, read a couple articles why the representatives for Daniel Jones kind of like, are in Jersey right now, trying to work something out. Because I mean, this puts a little hit, okay, in the hopes of the Daniel Jones. I mean, because when they can see, I mean, if Geno signed for $45 million and Derek signed for $45 million, well, that would help Daniel Jones out. Oh, look what we did. Our guy's even younger. Okay, look what he did. These guys got $45 million. We'd like about the same, right? Now they're getting like 35. These guys are getting about $35 million a year or so. So I mean, Daniel Jones might have to, eat a little bit of crow. He may, that $45 million or whatever wants 45, if not more. What I hear, we're just hearing, doesn't seem like he's going to wind up getting any of that, or as much of that. Now, because look, Derek Carr, was it 4 years in a row? Yeah, 4 years in a row. He threw for over 4,000 yards. 2021 was his best season. He had 4,804 yards. He had threw for over 30 touchdowns one time. 2015, he threw for 32 touchdowns. Okay. Last year was 24 and 14, nothing super spectacular. But 4 years in a row, he threw for over 4,000 yards. All right. So he 64.6% completion percentage over the life of his career, his first 9 years with the Raiders, right? So, he got, a little over 33 and a half or so million a year, first 3 years. So a lot of guaranteed money, but, that's certainly hurting, hurting Daniel Jones. Okay. Says they got this article from the Post. Promising signs that Giants and Daniel Jones will strike deal before the deadline. It says here, the Giants and Daniel Jones are moving toward finding common ground on a contract agreement that would link the quarterback and the franchise together for several years. Okay, won't be 7 or 8 years or nothing like that, but 3 to 5. It's looking like. Nothing is done until it is done, but the signs are there that the Giants and Jones could hammer it out. Although it may seem contentious for the outside, there has not been anything close to a talks breakdown setback, as both sides are highly motivated to get a deal done. All right. The Giants want Jones and Jones wants the Giants. So that's good. But also I heard that what Shane was saying that if something breaks down, all right, and they can't, they're just going to franchise tag him, and they're going to let him work this season out with the franchise tag. Apparently, from what I was hearing, okay, they're not going to try to redo a deal or anything like that or whatever. They're just going to put the franchise tag on him and let him ride the season out on the franchise tag. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the Giants maybe decide to draft a quarterback, right, in the in the draft coming up. They did talk to a Hooker from the Volunteers, and they talked to Richardson, right? I don't know if after what Richardson did at the Combine, if he's going to make it to the Giants at number 25. The Giants could try to trade up. I don't know if he's going to get out of the top 10. Who knows? The guy looks like he has a lot of, he's raw. So is Hooker, but he might be worth taking a gamble on. Right. So, but I'm saying, but if one of those guys were to get to the Giants at 25, it would be interesting to see if the Giants pull the trigger on drafting either one of those guys, because especially if Daniel Jones has to wind up working on the franchise tag, if he thinks he's worth too much, right? He's without question, he's going to hurt hurt the season. I mean, if they have to franchise tag him. That $32.4 million comes right out of the salary cap. Okay, and that's going to hurt them for like signing, other players. I don't know. You're going to have a hard. 32.4 going to come right out of salary cap. You're not going to have a lot of money left over. It's going to be tough to re-sign Saquon and Julian Love or a lot of these other guys. They're going to have to try to restructure the Leonard Williams contract to get some more money there. It's not going to leave the Giants a lot of money. Not going to leave them much money at all. Now, I did see something along the lines, okay, that if they were to sign Daniel Jones, I saw a couple things out there, like a 5-year deal for $200 million. Okay, now I don't know how much money would be guaranteed or whatever, but the way they broke it down, okay, the first year, his cap hit would be $12.5 million. Okay, $12.5 million. Now, what that could do, the Giants have like $43.5 million. So spot over the cap and spot track, they all got their own numbers and everything like that. Not their own numbers, but they're usually a little bit off. But if you go to spot track, what else is this? 43? What do they got here? Oh, that's the wrong one here. Spot track. Okay, the Giants have 40. After they sign their draft class and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah and everything, the Giants have 43.5. Okay, so if the Giants sign Daniel Jones like a 5-year deal for just say about, $40 million a year, all right? And if they could possibly get like the first year salary, the cap hit to be like $12.5 million, okay? That would mean that the Giants would have $30 million. Okay. They then could wait until Kenny Golladay be a post June 1st cut, and then they would save like another $13 or $14 million on him. But some of that dead money would have to go to 2024. But the Giants could wait post June 1st. Okay, after June 1st, cut him after June 1st. Okay, save about $14 million, somewhere around there. So then what do they got? 12.5, about the $31 million they would have after they sign Daniel Jones. If his cap hit's only $12.5 million, they'd have $31 million. If they be a post June 1st cut with Kenny Golladay, that bumps them up to about $45 million that they have in salary cap space. Okay. There's a couple other guys they can let go that they'd save a little bit of money here and there on, not too much, but they can also try to restructure Leonard Williams' contract, drop that down a whole ton, a lot. Okay, drop that down maybe about $10 million or so, maybe even more. Who knows? But I mean, they would go from about $45 million if they could do something with Leonard Williams up to about $55 million they would have. So they would have Daniel Jones signed, and they would have $55 million. Okay. Now, they would try to maybe put the franchise tag on, if they could sign Daniel Jones, put the franchise tag on Saquon. That way he doesn't go to free agency. Then they have the tag on Saquon Barkley. That gives them until like July 15th, July 7th to July 15th, like halfway into July, to work out some type of a deal with Saquon. Then they could rip up the tag, okay? And then possibly maybe his first year cap hit might only be like $5 million or so. So they would save even more money there. So this would give them, they can go out and they can start, maybe trying to bring, I don't know, just throwing out there, like bring back maybe Sterling Shepard. I don't know about Richie James. Maybe they could talk to Darius Slayton, talk to Nick Gates, Feliciano. There's other guys, obviously, Julian Love. They would try to bring him back. I don't know. I don't think they're going to want to go up like about $10 million for Julian Love, but they might want to try to bring him back for $6 to $8 million. But they can start bringing back some guys, right? They're going to need some money to sign their draft class, okay? But they might be able to go out into the world of linebackers or cornerbacks and bring somebody in. What I mean? Here are a lot of things that the Giants are very active, or I don't know, a lot of conversation all as far as the free agent, the linebackers. right? Now, there's some good linebackers out there. Bobby Wagner is one of them, okay? He'll command over $10 million. Now, the thing is, see, with him, he hates saying a stopgap with a Hall of Famer like him, but, he's over 30. He's not somebody you're going to have for years and years and years, okay? You can maybe sign him for maybe a couple, 2 to 3 years. Now, he would certainly provide you phenomenal service for those 2 or 3 years without question, but he's not somebody you want to be building with for the long term for the future, okay? But there's obviously there's other linebackers out there as well too, okay? So the Giants, certainly have their options, but it hinges on whether they can get something done with Daniel Jones or not. I mean, that's huge, huge as far, because I don't know if they'll be able to sign Saquon Barkley. If they can't get Daniel Jones right on a contract, right? If they're going to wind up, if they put a franchise tag on him, it's going to be tough because it says here Carr turns. What does he got? He turns 32 years old. Okay, so he's got the 4-year deal, $150 million. Carr turns 32 this month, and Jones will be turn 26 on May 27th. Okay. So I mean, they're both, they're different stages, right? But the Giants see tremendous upside in Jones now that he's linked with a head coach, Brian Daboll, known to get the most out of offensive players. Carr came in at $37.5 million per year, was not expected to complicate the Giants' talks. But maybe not, but it's it's evidence. Look, we have Derek Carr. Okay, we're signed for $37.5 million. It says the logical outcome for Jones is a 4 to 5 year deal, averaging close to or perhaps reaching $40 million per year, with somewhere near $100 million in guaranteed money. Okay, it says the deal must be completed by 4:00 on Tuesday, as that is the deadline for the Giants to place a franchise tag on Jones. So, if they can't get nothing done, right, they have to, right? If they put the franchise tag Jones on him, neither side wants that to happen. Jones gets paid $32.4 million for the 2023 season and has no security beyond that. Okay. Unfortunately, this would also immediately remove $32.4 million from the Giants' salary cap space. I believe to be, they got $50 million, but with the draft class and everything, they need to put aside a little bit of money for the draft class. Would leave them a little over $10 million. It says that would severely limit the ability of General Joe Schoen to improve the roster. It's nice, and I can see that wanting the money and this, that, and the other thing and all that, but it's like when you wind up hurting your team, when you can't bring back guys, right? I mean, it's when it's like all me, it's great, but there's only so much money to go around. I wish some of these guys would actually get that into their head, is that, sometimes you're only as good as the team around you. And that's Daniel Jones. He's only as good as the team around him. If the team around him is going to get weaker, guess what? His numbers are going to get weaker. They're going to get worse. They're not going to get better. You can't provide him with good quality wide receivers. You can't provide him with a good running back or good offensive line. His numbers are going to suffer. All right. So, so for him to go on the franchise tag at 32.4, and if he can't add to the roster because we don't have any freaking money, his numbers might go down. So then what he gets next, if they offer him a deal next year, that might even go down even more, right? So he might be hurting himself. So I just really, you like to see all the guys get paid, and make the money and all that. But, somebody's got to realize, sometimes the reason why, is because who's around you, right? Who do you got to throw the ball to? Right? Who's the offensive line? Who's your running? Right? So we're going to have the franchise tag you because you want too much money, right? Well, there goes your running back. Hope you're happy. Way to go, buddy. Good job, right? We may not be able to bring back, I don't know, Sterling Shepard or one of these other, I don't know, Richie James. Maybe we're going to try to talk to Darius Slayton. Maybe, but, if they only got $10, $12 million left in salary cap space. Obviously, there's a Kenny Golladay. They have to franchise tag Daniel Jones. They'll make Kenny Golladay a pre-June 1st cut. That way they'll save like 6.7 like right away. Okay, so that would give them another 6.7 or so toward the cap. Okay, which would help. Then they could also restructure Leonard Williams' contract. Okay, which would wind up hopefully add them another $10 million or so. But I mean, really, if they got to put the franchise tag on, that's 32.4. Okay, if what I see, on some of these the posts that they have and everything, like a 5-year deal. Okay, would have possibly have Daniel Jones a 5-year $200 million a year, $200 million contract would be like $40 million a year, right? But his first initial cap hit could be around $12.5 million. $12.5 million compared to 32. That's $20 million that you could spend. As I said, you could go out into the market. You can franchise tag Saquon. There's 10. You still have $10 million. So now you can have Daniel Jones. You can have Saquon Barkley, and you can go out and maybe go out and get signed Bobby Wagner. I mean, he might. I'm saying he could be like maybe 10 to 12 million. But right? I mean, if Daniel Jones could just maybe put his name on the dotted line, you can get him, you can get Saquon Barkley, and you can get somebody to help the defense. Or you can go out there and whatever, sign a good center, bring in a good guard, bring in a nice wide receiver or 2 wide receivers, or you can probably bring back Richie James, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton with $10 million. Right? It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's nice. Happy you get paid and all, but sometimes you got to realize, there's no money to spend on anybody else. It's only going to hurt him. And if the guys around them are not going to, we can't supply him with good wide receivers and a good running back and all, his numbers are only going to suffer. So next year, okay, if he's going to be with the Giants again, when they try to redo his contract again, if right, he could be losing money. So I hope he can work something out. Still got time left to go. Clock is ticking, but hey, if Derek Carr can get signed, Geno Smith can get signed, Daniel Jones can get signed. Damn it! I hope it works out, because I mean, it's only going to help. It's only going to help the Giants, and in the long run, it's going to help everybody out. So let's hope. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. Okay, that they can get something done, because it's going to make this season a lot better. Right, without question. All right, guys, it's been 32 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this? Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It really means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!